Hello to all astrology lovers. In this video, we will talk about the full moon in Taurus, which will occur on November 15th, 2024 at 11:28 p.m. We are expecting a full moon in Taurus at the 24th degree. This full moon, of course, has its own peculiarities, one of which is the presence of retrograde Uranus in Taurus, just 1 degree away from the moon, with Uranus at 26 degrees. Moreover, the moment of the full moon presents a rather ambiguous picture in the sky with some interesting aspects, but let's examine everything in order. First, let me remind you what a full moon is. Of course, it is a rather powerful astrological event when the moon is in opposition to the sun and reaches its full phase, symbolizing a certain culmination, completion, and the release of accumulated energies over a certain period of time. At the level of our lives, this is a time when we can gain sudden clarity about a situation, the revelation of some hidden aspects of life, inner revelations or intensified emotions. The full moon is always a rather emotional event, and it often brings to light what previously seemed unnoticed. Of course, it can push us towards certain decisions that pertain to both personal and professional spheres, the completion of various projects, and the ending of relationships that no longer serve our tasks or life goals. And of course, during this time, certain tensions may increase, emotions may intensify, conflicts may arise, and there may be a need to reassess some of our internal beliefs, intentions, and desires. Moreover, the energy of the full moon emphasizes the balance of the areas of life that are defined by the houses of the horoscope and the zodiac signs. It is the full moon that requires us to harmonize a certain area of life between one thing and another, to make a choice between one thing and another, to harmonize. For example, personal life and career, or our own needs and the needs of those around us. And in order to work with the energies of the full moon, to ground these energies, it is very important to be in a conscious state and to consciously control our emotional reactions, because I remind you, the moon is primarily our subconscious, and here the subconscious can give us impulsive actions, impulsive reactions can arise, and of course we need to find balance during this period between what needs to be released and what needs to be completed or transformed. Various practices such as meditation, gratitude, letting go of everything old and unnecessary, and clearing space help us significantly during this time. Reevaluating and prioritizing our goals and desires in life allows us to ground the energy of the full moon and gain clarity. Now, let's discuss the influence of the zodiac sign on this full moon, which is in Taurus. Of course, the zodiac sign imposes its filter on the energies of this astrological event. The full moon in Taurus emphasizes themes of stability, comfort, material abundance in our lives, and inner peace. Taurus is an earth sign. It symbolizes stability, resources, and values. And the full moon here raises questions related specifically to financial well-being, a sense of security, and harmony in everyday life. This is a period when we can identify our true needs for stability and security, and it is a time when we can uncover certain material and emotional attachments that need to be released and eradicated, which hinder our development. Of course, the influence of Taurus makes the energies of the full moon quite slow but very powerful, capable of creating situations that require our patience and rational approach. And here questions may arise related to financial investments, real estate, and caring for our body, because the body is also physical and tangible. Or there arises a need to create a cozy space where we live. And of course, the emotions that the full moon in Taurus raises are specifically related to the feeling of comfort and stability. We may feel the need to get rid of what. We can realize this in life. The symbolic Taurus is our second house in the horoscope, and of course it's all about finances, resources, and personal financial resources. It's about material goods, values, and our relationship with the material world, our ability to earn, manage money, and the desire for comfort and security. By the way, the second house also corresponds to our self-esteem, the value we bring to this world, our skills, and some internal qualities. All of this is activated by the full moon in Taurus, these themes. Nevertheless, we also have the ruler of this full moon, which is Venus. Venus is the planet of love, harmony, beauty, and the pleasures of material values in our lives. It governs how we express our feelings, how we form our attachments, how we seek and find joy in life, revealing our tastes, aesthetics, and relationship to comfort. It is responsible for how we interact in personal or business relationships. Additionally, of course, it's about money, financial preferences, and the manner in which we enjoy the blessings of life, sometimes even questions of luxury, art, and beauty. This is all Venus, and Venus is currently transiting through the Earth sign of Capricorn, activating themes and energies of stability, maturity, and responsibility, especially in the realm of personal relationships and values. During this period, qualities such as seriousness, dedication, and some structure are emphasized, and this all manifests in romantic, business, or friendly connections. Venus in Capricorn strives for reliability and security. During this period, we may particularly reflect on the durability and long-term nature of our relationships or financial investments. When Venus is transiting through the zodiac sign of Capricorn, of course, values shift towards pragmatism and quality. Our material expenditures become more thoughtful and focused on acquiring more sustainable and useful items. In relationships, for example, there may be a transition to a more serious level or a complete ending of relationships that do not satisfy us. This involves establishing clear boundaries and expectations. Capricorn is generally associated with career and social status. Venus here can stimulate an additional desire to achieve success specifically in professional activities, to create a solid reputation, and to build harmonious business connections. Now let's consider the symbolism of the degrees of Taurus in which this full moon occurs. The 24th degree of Taurus is a symbol and image represented as a fiercely galloping Indian warrior with human scalps on his belt. This interesting picture and the key to decoding this symbol lies in the fact that we exhibit some aggressiveness of our instincts when fighting for some earthly basis of action, for a physical and tangible manifestation of something in our lives. In mythology in early America, the Indian represents a savage who is closely connected to nature, lives with nature, and remains somewhat subject to, guided by primary human instincts. In the present time, the manifestation of these instincts can sometimes occur and lead to some violence. That is, some of our awareness may be turned off here, and only instincts are at work. And the symbol implies a certain cruelty and aggressiveness as the foundation of human nature, on the level of emotions, on the level of a certain culture. That is, this degree shows us that even in our modern civilized time, we can believe that instincts and attachments defined in our culture can generate some violence and conflict. And we can emotionally believe that violence is capable of protecting our values and our identity. This is demonstrated to us by the 24th degree. But if we return to the new moon in Taurus in May 2024, it occurred at the 18th degree of the sign. And the symbol of this degree shows us the image of a woman who is hanging her old bag out of the open window of her room. Such is the picture. And here the key to decoding is that one needs to purify their ego consciousness. That is, indeed, considering that the symbol truly presents us with a female figure, it emphasizes this bag and ultimately the need to cleanse one's consciousness, to free one's mind from old attachments and illusions. This cleansing of perception creates space for a deeper and higher level of awareness in our development, our inner harmony. It gives us the opportunity to go beyond our limitations and achieve new spiritual growth. Thus, we can observe the tendency of our development through certain experiences. And by the way, to understand in which area of life this is happening, you need to know in which house of the horoscope the full moon in Taurus occurs for you. If we combine the information of these degrees, we can see a very deep connection between the cleansing of the inner world and our struggle for survival and cultural differences. Here, the importance of working with internal conflicts and limitations is emphasized, the necessity of cleansing and the need for transforming our perception. And here, it is necessary to come to the realization and liberation from selfish attachments in order to avoid destructive manifestations of our aggression and violence in relationships, and instead to reach a level of harmony and balance in any interactions. That very balance I mentioned at the beginning, how the full moon works as an astrological aspect of our lives and harmonizes a specific area of life. Keep in mind that the waning moon will affect us until December 1st, 2024, inclusive, and some concluding processes will unfold precisely during these 2 weeks, when we will need to either finish something or achieve a result to see the outcome. We look again at the houses of the horoscope where the full moon occurs. We close the period from May 8th to November 15th, 2024. And by the way, if you made any notes of plans, intentions, tasks, or goals during the new moon in Taurus on May 8th, now is the time to return to those notes and compare what was achieved. Now let's look at some key aspects in the sky that are active at the time of the full moon, aside from the transit of Venus. So the first thing I mentioned is the retrograde Uranus in Taurus, a direct participant in this full moon with a difference of 1 degree. It adds elements of surprise, change, and some internal upheavals to this event. Uranus is the planet of revolution, the planet of innovation, and in its retro phase, it directs its energy inward. It makes us reconsider our old beliefs, ideas, and approaches. And when Uranus is also in Taurus, it touches upon, of course, the themes of material values, security, and familiar structures. Retrograde motion pushes us towards a deeper analysis and re-evaluation of these aspects. The full moon in Taurus is a culmination in matters of the material world, values, and stability. It is associated with the completion of cycles where it is necessary to put some outdated beliefs and approaches regarding finances, resources, and comfort to rest. This process of transformation becomes more internal, more conscious, simply because Uranus is retrograde. And of course, it can provoke unexpected discoveries, insights, and revelations about our own attachments to the material, about how these attachments limit our personal growth and our freedom. And the main influence of the aspect will manifest in the fact that we may face the necessity some changes in our financial stability regarding property security. Besides, there may be very sharp, unexpected changes that can be unpleasant at the moment, and we may not be ready for them. But over time, we understand and realize that they play in our favor. Another participant in this astrological event is the star Algol, and let's take a look at its features. It is located, by the way, 1 degree away from Uranus, And in ancient Greek mythology, it is represented and known as the head of a demon or the devil star. Quite a creepy sound. Nevertheless, this star is associated with dark and dangerous energies, and it certainly has special significance in both mythology and astrology. It is Algol that is associated with the myth of Medusa Gorgon because it is located in the constellation Perseus, where the head of the Medusa is, and the myths claim that Perseus fought with the Medusa and cut off her head, which then it became a source of death for those who looked at it. And Algol symbolizes these destructive forces. They are associated with violence, death, and demonic powers. In turn, in astrology, Algol is attributed with a strong influence that is associated with pronounced negative traits. That is, it is a star of violence, fear, destruction, and great personal trials. And there may be moments when we face crises, especially regarding issues of power, control, cruelty, and violence. At the same time, Algol can also provide us with powerful transformations precisely through these crises, through insights, and allows us to free ourselves from the past. That is, it gives us the opportunity to be reborn. The energy of this star represents certain extremes, as I mentioned, about destruction and mortality, but also about purification through struggle and transformation. Algol is indeed a catalyst for personal crises when we confront those parts of ourselves that we would prefer to ignore. Algol symbolizes forces that can manifest through aggression, influence, manipulation, and cruelty. And if we approach this consciously, at some point these forces can be transformed into something more powerful and aware. Naturally, to work through the energies of this star's action, it is essential to engage in conscious acceptance of the dark aspects of one's life, of one's sides, of one's personality, to use crises only for growth through any means, therapy, self-discovery, various activities that allow one to free themselves from old traumas, and, of course, acceptance of power. That is, Algol is connected to the theme of power and authority. Here, it is important to learn to use these qualities constructively rather than destructively. In the comments, be sure to share how this aspect with Uranus and Algol plays out for you. In relation to the moon during the full moon in Taurus, I would also be very interested to see how it manifests in your life. Another aspect that is important to consider at the moment of the full moon, the moon is in a trine with Pluto, which will soon finally move into a dahlia just 4 days after the full moon. And this trine activates very deep processes of transformation in our emotional sphere, providing a very powerful influence on stability and the inner resources of each of us. The aspect contributes to such a deep transformation of personal values, emotional attachments, and the sense of security. And all of this may manifest through the need to reconsider what brings us stability and comfort. And of course, this will bring certain changes in our material and emotional aspects. The trine of Pluto with the moon helps us work through old emotional traumas and fears, opening the way to healthier and more constructive experiences in living our lives. This is a time when we can radically change our approach to our own emotions. We can learn to let go of some old attachments and strengthen ourselves from within, our inner resources. In personal relationships, especially in family or close connections, there may arise a desire to understand each other more deeply, to uncover some hidden emotional needs. And all of this will, of course, contribute to the harmonization of relationships over time through awareness and gradual personal growth. At the same time, the Sun is in Scorpio and is in a trine with retrograde Neptune in Pisces at the moment of the full moon. This aspect activates strong intuitive creative flows. It fosters our deep inner experiences and processes of self-discovery. That is, the aspect enhances the ability to perceive hidden truths, to intuitively understand and penetrate some mystical aspects of our lives. The influence of Neptune, of course, can blur the boundaries of reality, prompting us to seek in the spiritual realm. And the Sun in Scorpio emphasizes hidden motives and the transformations of our personal power. And during this period, it can contribute to rethinking some past misconceptions, ideals, giving us a chance to heal emotional wounds and get rid of some internal illusions. And the aspect can also create situations where we turn more to our creative side of personality. We are more cleansed from old energy blocks. In relationships, by the way, there may be moments of deeper understanding of each other, especially on an intuitive level. And here it is important to avoid idealization and endowing the partner with unrealistic expectations. Another significant aspect at the time of the full moon is the aspect related to Venus. The ruler of this full moon, which is in a T-square with the Capricorn nodal point. The disharmonious aspect, however, contains quite a strong potential, creating a tense dynamic aimed at rethinking personal relationships, values, and the balance between personal independence and partnership. Venus in Capricorn focuses attention on serious pragmatic relationships and material aspects. Love can make us think about the stability of our connections and their long-term nature. However, the square with the nodes forces us to pay attention to the lessons related to our individuality and harmony in relationships with others. Conflicts may arise here between personal independence and the need for compromises with partners. During this period, situations may arise where one must choose between following personal interests and the desire to maintain independence or preserving balance and harmony in relationships. The T-square stimulates the need for growth and taking responsibility for one's feelings and actions. It encourages us to make active changes in personal relationships, and they provide such a radical overhaul of the approach to love and partnership. Therefore, it is important to catch these energies, learn to balance personal ambitions and the needs of those around us, and avoid excessive compromises that may suppress our personal freedom. Now let's consider the effects of the full moon in Taurus for each of the 12 zodiac signs, how it will manifest in your life and in which areas and directions to look, what to complete, where we will see clarity and culmination. My dear Pisces, the full moon in Taurus is in your third house of the horoscope. This house is closely related to our communication in large quantities, learning, processes of self-discovery and self-education, and urgent trips, the interaction with a very large flow of information. And here, the full moon in Taurus emphasizes issues related to communication, the ability to convey your thoughts and understand others. Everything related to documents, educational activities, publications, information exchange, ideas, thoughts, discussions, and even training on developing communication skills also applies here. Moreover, relationships with your siblings, close relatives, and even neighbors will come to the forefront and reach a certain culmination, completion, and clarity. Perhaps now you will summarize some intellectual project you have been working on for the past 6 months, or complete an important trip or business trip that changed your life. To work through the energies of this full moon, be sure to complete any informational and communicative processes, situations, and interactions that hinder your development, close or transform them to a new level. This could be misunderstandings with siblings or conflicts that can now be discussed and resolved. Pay attention to cleansing your information flow. It is very important to filter everything you receive from the outside world. You can also focus on your approach to communication, styles, interactions with others, and communication habits. Here you can integrate some new experiences and knowledge that you gained in the past 6 months into your life, or engage in any processes of self-discovery, learning, and acquiring new information. Here you can embark on journeys, either complete some long trips or projects and plan something new for the future. In any case, this is a very good period for you. Use this time to your advantage. I wish you success. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye-bye.